Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are tuning in today into this webinar. How are you guys doing? How's the cold in Nairobi taking people? I hear we are farthest away from the sun as of yesterday. So that is why it's so cold brutally. So how are you guys doing? Tell me how you've been. Welcome again to our monthly webinars. So this is where we give you educational tips on how to handle different faculties of life as far as your finances are concerned. So in this half year that we are about to embark on, what would you like to tell us some of your financial goals? What have you achieved so far? Because today that is what we're talking about, personal financing. I, for one, have managed to get out of debt. So on chat, please tell me what financial goal you have accomplished so far. Hi, Jerry from Eunice. Eunice, hi. Nice to see you. Tell me what you've accomplished so far in this last 6 months. I got out of debt. I managed to build an emergency fund. Okay. Is this recorded, Kwani? Yes. No? This is live. It's not recorded. Anastasia, nice to see you, Anna. So I was talking about what we have achieved the first 6 months of the year because we are in the second half. Okay, so a quick tell me on chat what you have managed to achieve as far as your personal finance is concerned. And okay, so as I was saying, I have managed to get out of debt. And then I went ahead to build an emergency fund. And one of the places where I have my emergency fund is the Safaricom account. This allows me to do that, to be able to save. Can you imagine having extra just in case of emergency? Can you imagine that? So I love that. That's what I've accomplished this 6 months. After we've heard from our financial advisor, who is going to come in a few. Okay. So for those who don't know me, because you can see on chat, everyone is already highlighting as Njeri. For those who don't know me, my name is Njeri Gane, and I will be your host today. So Safaricom Sacco is always continuously improving to ensure we serve you better and faster. So I'm particularly excited to announce that we have redesigned, reimagined, redeveloped 3 existing products. Okay. Product number 1 is Faraji Radi Home Loan, where you can borrow up to 4 times your annual salary and or up to 10 times your savings with 8% interest per annum. Okay. As Faraji Construction Loan, this is my second product. You can borrow up to 4 times your annual salary or 10 times your savings with 9% interest per annum. And finally, the Ustawi loan. Ustawi loan, you can borrow up to 4 times your annual salary. Isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? Okay. Are you guys excited to have some of these products? Give us a thumbs up and tell us what you think about these products on chat. So quickly running through your comments. Hi, Jerry. I can't hear a thing. Is the audio okay? Audio is perfect. Audio is perfect. I managed to reduce my headache, exorbitant interest amounts on my online loan. Samuel, kudos. That is a big achievement. Caroline Mina saying very interesting in Faraji. Okay, Anastasia, now on financial goals, I've managed to open an emergency fund that is also earning me interest at the same time. Wow, that is incredible. George is saying, I paid off my debt. Yes, getting rid of debt is one of the things. And then you take another one for Sacco. Okay, I got a new want to start a new business, which is picking on very well in 2 months. Congratulations, George. I'm very, very proud of you. Samuel is saying, but with a question of Safaricom Sacco, one of the month loan can be extended to 6 months or to 12 months. Let's talk about that later. Faraji loan is good, Bay loan is saying. What is the minimum time one should save to qualify? So basically, this is all about you first hitting your, what is it, Sacco, yes, you have to have your your savings, and then you still have to have your, yeah, scan the code to find information. That's code? Okay. Okay, 6 months only. Okay, Eric is saying we can have this record shared after. Let's see. Let's see. On to a little housekeeping. Okay. Today we'll be educating you on personal financial management and how to have it in a workable financial plan. Right. For those joining us on Facebook, tell us how your month has been. Right. Our guest speaker on our Safaricom Sacco Finance Care are also on hand to answer any queries that you may have. Don't be shy to ask any questions in the course of the session. Now, before we get started, as usual, the chat is for you to interact with me and you to interact with each other for fun. The Q&A tab is to post your questions, and those questions will be addressed. Those on Facebook can put their questions on the comments section of the webinar. For the panelists, please be on mute when not speaking and have your videos off until we call upon you. Now, in staying committed with our promise of diversity and inclusion, a live transcript has been made available from the comfort of anyone with hearing difficulties who's joined the call. You can press this by clicking the View Transcript tab at the bottom of the Zoom application under More Options. So this will allow you to keep up with the good conversation in a more comfortable manner. Now, as I promised, we have a personal financial advisor to kick us off. I'd like to invite Eric Shikanda from the financial team to take us through. Eric, are we together?
Yes, we are. Confirm if you can hear me.
I can hear you beautifully.
Okay. So let me put my video
Make my life
on.
better as far as finances is concerned. Take it away, Eric.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you very much, and welcome all to our webinar today, where we're going to learn about finances, personal finance management. We're going to share things that we've had, things that we've not very new things, but things that we can remind ourselves every time on what we need to do in terms of personal finance management. I'll share my screen. Confirm if my screen is visible, Jerry.
Yes, visible, all good.
Okay. So we're going to talk about how we're going to empower each other in terms of personal finance management. And just to set the ball rolling, we just ask ourselves, what do we mean by personal finance management? And this is very important for us to understand that we're talking about a systematic approach. So when we're talking about finance, personal finance management, we're talking about how you can be able to do an approach that is organized, where we can be able to maximize our existing financial resources, of course, through proper management to achieve our goals. This definition is important because many times we talk to people in our finance advisory field, and people are telling us that, for me, I'm not able to do that because I don't earn a lot of money, or I'm not able to do that because I do not have excess funds. So today we want to learn that you can be able to start where you are by using your existing financial resources. So we're going to have the brief, and then we can be able to answer any question that you're going to have. And first, we just want to get the context. Right now, we're talking about Finance Act. We talked about finance bill for quite some time. In fact, it was one of the most debated finance bill ever in Kenya. And just to give us a view of the highlights, I know we've read, we've heard, we've gone to seminars, and we've heard about the Finance Act. Just high level, what are some of the things that are there in the Finance Act? We know that there are some that have already started being operational. There are some sections that started 1st July. There are some that are operational effective 1st September. And there are some that are operational 1st January 2024. One of the things that you've seen, there's been an increase of the tax band. We've had 2 additional bands, that is of 500,000 people earning more than 500,000. We have new tax rates of 32.5 and 35. We have traveling allowance that is incurred in the performance of duty has been allowed to the extent of rates that are prescribed by AA. We've got post-retirement medical fund contribution. This is now entitled to a relief of up to 5,000 shillings per month. We have turnover tax. We'll talk about turnover tax as we continue, but these are tax that has been raised from 1% to 3%. And this is for firms that have a turnover of 1 million to 25 million, and they are subject to turnover tax. MRI, which is a monthly rental income tax, has been reduced from 10% to 7.5%. We have one of the important things that we saw in the Finance Act is that expenditures whose invoice is not generated by e-teams are now not allowable by the tax authority. We're going to mention about that. We've got interest expenses paid up to 25,000 shillings per month by individuals on loan from cooperative for purchase and or improvement of residential is now deductible. This is very key. And we've just been talking, as we started, we talked about the mortgage. These are some of the things now that would come into play. Of course, advance tax has been increased. This is for commercial vehicles. LPG gas has been reduced to 0 rated from 8%. Fuel tax, this is one of the key things that happened in the Finance Act, and not much focus was made on it. We focus so much on the housing levy, but the more important things like the VAT, the fuel on VAT, and we have started to see the effect right now, actually today. A number of things down there, the compliance, non-compliance of e-teams. There is a penalty now of 100,000 or twice the tax due. Housing levy, this was the most famous or the most talked about, 1.5% tax. And it's important to note that it is on gross salary. It isn't on basic, but it is on gross salary. Digital content monetization, this was also talked about. At the end of the day, it went to 5%. The reason why I'm mentioning all these, the changes in the Finance Act, is because these are the things that are affecting our income and basically affecting our disposable income that we can be able to do quite a lot about. There are quite a number of things in the pipeline. There are plans to increase the NHIF. Right now, the NHIF is capped at 1,700 irrespective of the income. There are plans to increase NHIF and making it related to the salary that one has, up to 2.75% of one salary. Again, it's not yet clear, will it be on gross or will it be on basic? So there are quite a number of things that are coming up, and one of the things that we notice that these changes are coming at the mid of the year. People had planned their income, people had done their plans, but we are coming to see changes that are mandatory in the course of the year. So what are we talking about today? When we talk about finance, personal finance management, we actually talk about 4 steps that are very critical, and they have to follow each other in the manner in which we are mentioning here. When you need to plan your finances, there are many steps, but they can be categorized into the 4 steps that you're mentioning here. Number 1, earning, save, invest, and manage. And they have to follow the order that we are mentioning here. Because now when you don't follow the order, that is when now we get crisis in personal finances, where you're saving and you're not increasing your income. You're saving, which is good, saving is good, but what are you saving from? You would be able to save and jeopardize your day-to-day expenditure. So one of the things that you need to do is to follow this order. You have to earn, basically you have to increase your income streams, and we then save. What are we saving? We are saying at least 15% of what you've earned. We're going to talk about it and invest. So just after saving, we need to invest what we've saved. And we can't invest before we earn and save, and again, manage expenditure. So even as much as we are investing, we are earning, we're saving, and we're investing, if we don't manage our expenditures, we're not going to achieve the financial freedom or financial independence or the level of financial management that we want. Now let's talk about earning. Now, the first step to earn, the first step is, of course, is to earn income, because you can't save what you don't earn. And when we look at personal finance management, and so many people, when they look at personal finance management, the first place they go to is, how do I manage my expenditure? How do I save? How do I reduce my expenditure? But the reality of life is that there's so much that you can reduce in terms of expenditure. There's a level in which you cannot reduce expenditure. So you can only maybe reduce expenditure and increase income, but expenditure can only go to a certain extent, management, minimization of expenditure. So, but there's unlimited opportunity in terms of increasing income. So one of the focus areas that we need to do when we want to manage our finances is to ensure that we have more than one income. And it is said that if you have only one stream of income, it is actually close to none, because we just one step away from zero income. Because your one stream of income, if your income is only employment income, we actually trading on risky grounds. If your income is only business income, again, you are trading on risky grounds. So this is very key, and this line is very important, that one income is close to none. So there are so many streams of income, both active and passive. And for active income is what you mean, you have to be involved for you to earn. But for passive income is that you can earn, your money is actually working for you. You don't need to do something for you to earn the money once you've already invested. So there are quite a number of streams of income that we talk about, and we just summarize about 6 of them. Of course, earned income. This is salary. If you're earning salary, that's earned income. Consultancy fee, that's earned income. Profit income, of course, business, farming, those are profit income. This is income that you're getting from the activities that you are doing, that you trade. So when you trade, the excess between your expenses and your income now becomes profit income. And it's income, that's one of the streams of income. Farming income, the same. Interest income, it's also a very interesting source of income, because most of it is passive. You basically don't need to do anything. After investing, of course, you monitor your income, but it's actually not an active income. Dividend income, that is shares, rental income, capital gains income. Just type on chat, how many sources of income do you have? And this is something that we discuss all the time, that we have financial education, we have financial literacy classes. How many sources of income do you have? Just type on chat so that you can be able to discuss amongst ourselves. So what it is said, that before we go to the other step, it said that at least we should have at least 3 or 4 streams of income. So that's the basic, that is the minimum that any of us should have for us to be able to properly manage our finances. we need to have at least 4 streams of income. And they're very simple to enter. We're going to learn about them later on. So what determines the choice of investments or income stream that you go into? Now, as we've mentioned, there are so many streams of income. 6 is just a summary, but there are factors that determine which stream of income you get involved in. Number 1, it's age. What's your age? If you're very young, you've got time to risk. You've got time to lose and to gain. So you'd be able to get more of your income you can put in investments that will earn you more money, but also with more income, with more interest, also comes with more risk. So you can go to shares, you can go to investments that are pretty risky. So the older you become, the more you now move from very risky income investments to now more safe and less risky investments. And we're going to learn what investments we're talking about. So we're going to move towards government securities, Saccos, investments that are less risky. And of course, what's your risk appetite? How much are you willing to lose? And what is it that if you lose, your life will still continue? So we find that people are investing in things that should it go south, it goes south with them. So what is your risk appetite? How much cash outlay do you have? There are some investments that require a lot of money. There are some that are very simple. So how much capital do you have? What's your expertise in a certain area? Are you going to go to farming and you have no clue about farming? Are you going to go to which stream of income do you have knowledge on, or you can be able to learn about? So how available are you to monitor your venture? Now, depending on the business that you're talking about, if you're opening a shop or a very active business, that would require your monitoring and your availability. So how available are you to monitor your business? So then we come to invest, to save. So we earn money, and then after we've earned money, the next thing that we need to do is to save. So saving is basically putting money aside for future. That is money that we're not spending now, and that is we've earned more money. Now we are saving. Now this is where we have a challenge, that people earn money, but saving now becomes difficult. Now, because it is human nature to want to spend and to want to enjoy your money and to want to do good things with your money, because you're the one who has earned it. Now, it becomes easier when this is done with little or no direct human control, meaning that it is deducted from source. And when it is deducted from source, it becomes easier for you even to save. Now, even the government does not trust us that I will give you I'll give you your salary, and then from the salary, you deduct tax and remit to KRA. They don't do that. Why? Because they know that if they give us the money, we're more likely going to use it, and paying tax will become very difficult. So what does the government do? It is deducted from source. It deducted from your employer, and the employer remits. And that is where we are seeing where this government is, the new government is doing. It wants to ensure that a lot of money is deducted from source. So we've seen a widening of the withholding tax. We've seen a widening of the VAT withholding tax, rent withholding tax, where the person who is supposed to pay deduct it from source. That is the same thing that we need to do for ourselves. That for me to be able to save, how much can I be able to automate? Can I do a standing order? Can it be check off to reduce me touching the money and reducing the amount that I'm supposed to save? So What are we saving? One of the things that we need to save is saving for retirement. And whether we like it or not, there's soon going to be a time that you're going to retire. And it is said that right now in Kenya, if you're retiring with less than 5 million shillings, can you imagine? If you're retiring with less than 5 million shillings, you're retiring with less money. If you're retiring with like 2 million, you're retiring with that kind of, those levels of income, you're retiring with less money. Now, this is not to alarm us, but we are able to start from where we are. And it's actually said that 87% of Kenyans actually retire with less than what they need. It is said that if you're not saving for retirement and you are basically depending on NSSF, there are a number of people that are retiring with NSSF amount that is about 200,000 shillings. So what can you be able to do with 200,000 shillings on retirement? So we need to have a retirement plan. And the retirement plan, some of us are lucky if you're an employer has a retirement plan for you or a pension plan for you. That is good, but that does not mean that you can stop there and say, my retirement is sorted out. I don't need to do extra. But if you do your own calculation and say, how much do I want to have at the end of my working life? And then you calculate and you find that whatever your employer is contributing for you may not even reach what you want. So what do you need to do? You need to increase, or you need to get your own personal retirement scheme from the insurance companies and ensure that you save for retirement. And it is said that what people need most at retirement is not fixed assets. What people need most at retirement is medical cover and liquid cash. For a long time, we've been told that you need to save, you need to buy land, you need to buy, to invest in quite a number, many parcels of land, which is not bad. But at retirement, what one may need is, do you have a flow of income? Do you have cash? The other day I was talking to, there's a conference that I attended, and one of the speakers was saying that he has a friend that lives in Karen, very good house. He has several pieces of land, but there's a time that he needed cash. He needed like 200,000. If you look at his assets and 200,000 is a very little percentage, but he didn't have cash. And that is what people need at retirement. They need cash. They need cash to move around. They need cash for medical. If they don't have a medical cover, that is what we need. So when we say we're saving for one of the reasons why we're saving is for retirement. If we retire at 60, you live up to 90, that's 30 years. So you have like working life. If you start working at 25 and retire at 60, you have 35 years working to save or to do things that will sustain you for the other 30 years. So the more the need for us to have a proper retirement plan. The other thing is emergency fund. I think when we started, we had some few people saying they have established an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a total necessity. We were talking some years back. We were talking about it being a plan, it being a good thing to do. But right now we're talking about it is a necessity. Do you have an emergency fund? Maybe you can type on the chat. Do you have an emergency fund for you? Now, and this is money that is set aside to contribute or to help you to meet a very short, a need that is coming at a very short notice. Maybe you've lost your phone, there's an accident, there's a certain emergency that you need to address. And this is money that is supposed to be at an accessible place. Like we have FOSA. FOSA, are you able to get your money when you need it? Do you have an emergency plan? Do you, if your child needs, or if any of your family members need some money and they need it within 5 minutes, are you able to provide it? And one of the things that I learned during COVID, one of my kids was sick. And at some point we needed to raise some money, and we needed to raise it within minutes because we needed to reserve a bed. And then I realized that this money, we need emergency fund. So do you have an emergency fund? And if there's something that you need to get from here, get an emergency fund. And you don't put your emergency fund in investment that is difficult to get it. Put it in a fund that you can be able to get it within minutes. So we have, and the Sacco offers quite a number of products. And we also have active income backup. So what would happen now if you lose your current source of income? And it's a reality, and we saw it during COVID, where people had to be laid off. So do you have an income backup? Again, you type in the chat, do you have an income backup? What would happen if you lose your job today? So how would you bounce back? If you lose your job today, will you have to shift from the house that you're living? You get your kids out of the school that they are in. So what would you do? So one of the advice that is given in the financial circle is that you need to have fund that would last you at least 6 months, the level of your lifestyle, at least 6 months. So this was actually pre-COVID, because right now we insisting even up to 1 year. Are you able to survive 1 year without your job if you lose your job? So do you have an active income backup? So this active income backup may not, this is money that is not supposed to be in the bank current account, but it's supposed to be in an investment that you can be able to recall within a week, 2 weeks, or something like that. So do you have one? So investment. One of the quotes that Albert Einstein said is that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And he who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays for it. This means that if you start investing early, your compound interest will be matched, because your interest will be earning interest. If someone starts investing at 20 years, they wouldn't need to pay for it. They will earn for it, and they wouldn't need to invest a lot of money on monthly basis or on regular basis as someone who is starting at 40 years, or someone who is at 50 years, or even someone who is at 30, because of the word compounding interest. So what we are saying is that after you do your savings, the next thing you need to do is to invest. And one of the challenges that we are getting is that there are people who are very good at saving, but they are not good at investing. Or they don't even invest. They have money in the bank, they have money in the house, but they are not investing. So if you are not investing, as we are going to learn, that your money is losing value because of something we call inflation. Inflation is basically the general rise of the cost of items. If right now, as at June, the inflation, the 12-month inflation was at 7.9 as at June. That means that if you had 100 shillings in bank June last year, and right now in June this year, it's actually not even, the value is not now even 100. It is 100 shillings, yes, but it can buy things only at around 92 or 91 shillings. If you had 1,000 shillings, it's around now 920 shillings. Now, this is the reason why you need to invest. You need to invest to cushion yourself from inflation and also to earn interest. So if you are saving and you're not investing, you're actually losing value of your money. So what are you do? How are you supposed to approach investment? Start something that you're passionate. If you want to start a business, start something that you're passionate for and you are skilled in. If you're not skilled in, you need to learn. You need to invest time and resources for you to learn what you can be able to invest. And the choice of investment, which I had mentioned, depends on many things. Depend on the risk appetite, your funds available, skills, and reasons for investment. In fact, one of the things we ask people, because someone asks you, what investment can I give? What investment can I do? We ask them, what is your reason? Why are you doing that? Are you to preserve your funds? Are you to maximize your profit? Are you to secure your future? Do you want to earn more money? What do you want? That would determine the investment option. And there are some high risk, high return. These are shares. Shares, you can buy shares at 10, you can sell it at 40. That's like what, 300 or 300% interest, percent, or it can even dip. It can even be 1 shilling and you bought at 10. So those are investments that you can get high returns, and it has high risk. Of course, business again. The other time we were talking with someone, we're passing through there's a market that got banned, and as we are passing, and someone says, can you imagine if someone had just invested on these markets and it was just burnt down? But how much money are they getting? They would be probably buying something at 100 and selling at 200, 100% profit, but also high risk. So what is your risk appetite? Can you do farming? Can you do shares? Can you do business? Of course, there are some that are low risk, Sacco saving, Sacco foster, real estate, money market, balance fund. The risk is not much. The return is not outrageous again. What is a low risk? There are some that are low risk, moderate return, like treasury bonds. We're seeing the government giving bonds, as we've seen of late, and low risk, low return. That is fixed deposit, pension funds, treasury bills, quite a number of very low risk and very low return. Now, what we need is that you need to have a mix of these ones. As I've said, you need to have streams of income. So what's your mix? Get a mix of all these, which risk and which return, get a risk. So the last thing that we want to talk about, because today we just wanted to highlight on areas of financial investment, and probably during question time, we're going to answer quite specific questions. Budget. How do we manage our expenditure? The first thing is budget. Again, let's see from the chart. Do you have a budget? Do you just type on the chart? Do you do a budget? Yes, I do a budget, but do I track my budget? So do you have a budget? Now, a budget will help us to track expenses. And our budget should start from gross income to ensure that everything is captured. Of course, I know my gross income. There are quite a number of things that are deducted. Of course, there's tax, there is what. So I can be able to have a picture of how much I am earning and how much is distributed. There's another person that did some budget, and they found that the government is taking almost 40% of their income, gross income. So what we are saying is that these are challenges that we're giving ourselves, and it's the beginning of the second half of the year. You're saying probably in the first half of the year, I did not manage my budget. I did not put things on paper. So can you challenge yourself that you come up with maybe get a budget at the beginning of the year? And one of the generic ratios that you are saying is that this is general. Again, different people have different percentages, but the generic one is 50% should go to your essentials. 50% of your now net income, the money that goes to your bank or goes to your foster account, 50% should go to your essential. And these are house, food, things that you have to. And then 30, of course, goes to wants and personal desires, and 20% goes to savings and investment. Now, we know that budgets have been adjusted because we are now getting changes in our pay slips that we had not even anticipated. So what bucket are we going to affect? Are we going to affect the essential? Are we going to affect the needs? the ones, or are we going to affect the savings and investments? If 2.75 of NHIF comes up and is mandatory, someone earning 200,000 will likely pay over 5,000 shillings. That is 5,000 shillings coming from your net salary. So what adjustment are we going to make? So reward yourself. So the first thing is budget. The second thing is reward yourself in a systematic manner. Now, the problem we get is that people start with rewarding themselves before budget. I've gotten my salary, so let me just say, Paul to my body for the whole month. I've sweated for this organization. I've done a lot. Let me reward myself. So what we're saying here is that you need to, this rewarding of yourself, what you're talking about is that you pay yourself, you focus on yourself. After government has taken their money, now you get your net salary. The first thing you need to do is to save. You paying yourself for your future. And paying yourself here, we are meaning invest, save for yourself. The government has taken 30%. Most people, the government takes 30% of your salary. So the least that you can do is to at least pay yourself or do something for yourself for about 20% or 15%. The other thing is track your expenses, record your expenses on day-to-day basis. There are people who are very good at this. There are people who are very poor at this. So it's a habit that you can start. Just pay your track expenses, and then you will realize this is where my money is going. Because sometimes you will get paid, and after maybe on 15th, on 10th, or on 20th, and you're asking yourself, where did my money go? Because when we don't record, we can't be able to look at it later on and see where our money is going. And I'm saying that they are non-essentials. I'm not saying that they are not important, but there are some things that probably if you've not budgeted for entertainment, you've not budgeted for dining out many times, but you do that, you find yourself, you don't have a lot of money. So the other way we can do our manage our expenditure is what you call tax avoidance. Now, tax avoidance is not illegal. Tax avoidance is looking at the loopholes in the tax regime and see where I can be able to get relief from the tax that I pay. Nobody likes paying tax. So if I pay mortgage, if I pay pension, if I pay an SSF only 200, or right now only 1,080 will be exempt for tax. But if I pay pension up to 20,000 or provident, up to 20,000 is actually exempt from tax. Mortgage relief, we have actually seen, I've mentioned that mortgage relief, there's mortgage relief. It will reduce my tax. There's insurance relief, it's reducing my tax. So if we look at the tax, what are some of the ways in which I can take advantage of the tax of the tax regime to reduce my tax? Make use of debt. Debt is important. I'm not just saying this because we are in a Sacco, but debt is important. There are many things you cannot be able to do by saving by yourself. So you have to use what you call leverage. You have to use other people's money per se. We talk about other people's money inside, because if I've saved 200,000, I'm able to get like 3 times, that is 600,000. This 400,000, I didn't have it, but I've been able to leverage on debt to do a certain thing. Now we're talking about debt, and debt, you need to, when you get debt, we need to use it well. And most of the time we need to use it to get an asset that is earning us money. So when we make an asset that is earning us money, or that is reducing on our normal expenditure, that is making good use of debt. And we can be able to do things that we are normally not able to do. It is said that the rich use the poor people's money to earn more money. Someone wants to build a building that would earn them rental income. They go to the Sacco. Let's say they want to start a business. They go to the Sacco. They get development loan. they're able to start a business, and they're able to repay it, and they earn more money, and they earn wealth. They make wealth. Make use of debt. Live within your means. Now, we've seen the Finance Act, and the Finance Act will actually have to force us to live, to scale down on the living standard if you are living on the edge. So what we're meaning is that we have to make adjustments. And for us to be able to sort ourselves financially, we have to make adjustments to our living standards, and we live within our means. Someone was saying that if you cannot buy it twice, you can't afford it. If there's a phone of 50,000, if I can't buy it twice, probably I can't afford it. So what we are saying is that live within your means. Now, it is said that the chances, someone was joking and saying, the chances of you being struck by lightning is more than you being told in a finance class that you need to enjoy your money. We're not saying you don't enjoy your money, but live within your means. And of course, limit the amount of cash that you have. This will prevent impulse purchases that you would make. So consult other nuggets, consult experts. If you want to know about a certain thing, about investments, consult experts. Borrow wisely. Borrow wisely. You borrow and then you repay. Again, you don't even bring problems to your guarantors. When the deal is too good, think twice. If you hear an interest that is more than what the market is offering, be careful. Probably it's not true. Stay insured. This is very important. Without insurance, just one calamity can wipe out all your saving and destabilizes all your plans. So one of the things that we advise people in a finance class or in financial management is that you need to hedge, manage your risk. And one of the ways you can manage your risk is to take insurance. And if something happens, you know that this is secured. One step at a time. Again, take baby steps in terms of personal finance journey. Because when we discuss such things, when you go to forums and we discuss this, and people are looking at where they are and where they need to be, and they're thinking, I'm really far. There's nothing that I can do. Take one step at a time. Do things that you are able to manage, that you'll not be easily overwhelmed. And then start with to clear your biggest expenditure. We've just been told that there are revamped products that is products, mortgage products, and probably house is the biggest percentage, because what we see, rent is usually rent and fees are usually the biggest percentage in the budget. But if you can be able to clear the biggest percentage, the biggest expense, that is rent, you are able now to have more income and you can be able to do more things. So I would want to stop there, and I would be able maybe to field any question that would arise. Maybe back to you, Jerry. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. That was very informative. And yes, you did say that some of it will be a reminder of what we already know. And I liked especially when you said, if you can buy it twice, probably you can't afford it. And then somebody here is asking me, your car, can you buy it twice? So for big purchases like that, should we be able to buy the advice you're giving? Like, if I can't buy my house twice, does that mean I should not save towards a house? Talk to me about that, Eric, as I'm looking through the questions and the comments.
Okay, maybe we can start there.
Yeah.
We, again, depending on what we're talking about, and here we're talking about mostly the luxuries, the things that we can actually do without. So be it a phone, be it something that you can just do we're not talking about essentials, that things that you must have, but you're talking about things that you want to have. If you can't buy it twice, those things, probably you can't afford it.
I hear you, Eric. I hear you completely. Quick comment from Raymond Juma. He said, tracking one's budget is very eye-opening experience. One should exclude even the tiniest, shouldn't exclude even the tiniest expenses, e.g., picking up a snack for your morning coffee or tea, adding a soda to your lunch, etc. It's crazy how interesting it can be when you deliberately set aside that spoil myself cash within your budget so that you establish whether or not it is important or if you could relocate those funds to a self-development or any other positive expense. I agree with Raymond Juma here. When I was tracking my budget, my biggest place where I was using money was Boda Boda, Eric. Can you imagine? Because I would run almost late to an event or job, and you're like, "Sintachukua tu boda." It's just like a 200. It's a 200 today, 200 tomorrow, and before you know it, when I accrued, it was like 5,000 shillings in the month. So yes, I agree with Raymond there. Raymond Juma, thank you so much for that comment. Do you have anything to say, Eric, about budgeting there?
Yes, in fact, the things that the expenses that bring down someone are not big expenses. They're actually those small expenses, including lunches. Now, I'm not saying people not to eat, but you need to do your maths. You need to do your maths well. And if you're taking 300 shillings lunch for 20 days straight, working days, you are taking 6,000 shillings lunch only. So it's these small expenditures that you are able to save. It is these snacks, mahindi choma, smoky, pasua. Those are things that actually bring people down. Now, what we're saying is that there are so many apps now, free apps that you can be able to use to track your expenditure. Even Excel. I know there's someone who, at the end of the day, when they reach home, after greeting people in the house, the next thing that he does is to sit down and write so that he doesn't forget. So it is the little things. It's the little things that actually think about. So you will realize that if you start tracking, you'll see those are the small things. Boda, as you said, Boda, that is 500, 300 shillings. Things that you will not even feel it. Those are the things that really spoiled everything.
I hear you. I can see Moses Odhiambo saying, Eric, you mentioned that you are going to give us a number of extra streams of income, and you didn't. So people want leakage. What other extra streams of income can you suggest that people should look into?
We actually mentioned. Actually, if you're in a Sacco, you already have an extra source of income. We have, of course, money market funds. We have money market fund will give you interest every month. We have treasury bonds will give you interest every 6 months. We have treasury bills will give you interest when if it's 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. It's actually giving the interest of treasury bills is actually upfront. So they have business, that's another stream of income. Farming is another stream of income. Fixed deposit, another stream of income. There are so many streams of income, but we said, do not just get into something because you've had this stream of income. Do your own due diligence, ask the experts. If the deal is too good, please ask the expert, because there's no way that a certain investment would give you an average. Let me give you an average. If there's an investment that you hear that is giving 20% right now in Kenya, you need to think about it, because if the investment is giving 20%, why wouldn't the bank not go there? Why would the bank not go there? They have experts. Instead of lending to individuals who are risky, they'll just invest in that option and get their money. So when the investment is too good, think twice. Because we've had sometimes we hear someone saying, why don't you give this amount? Why don't you give this amount? Why don't you give this amount? But what risk are you able to take? Are you willing to have all your money get lost for following up 20%? What risk are we talking about? So when it comes to investment, there are so many investment streams, but it depends on many things like what's your age, because I wouldn't advise someone who is about to retire to go into stocks. I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise a very young person who is at 20 years to put all their money in treasury bonds or treasury bills. I wouldn't, because they've got the time to go into risky ventures, more risky ventures. So it depends on many things. But again, what risk is there? Ask experts. If you're not sure, ask.
Thank you so much for that. There's a lot of requests for, can you suggest any apps that are good for budgeting? So there's a lot of feedback here because Nimo Nyambura is saying, what's the best app for budgeting? Abigail answered, I use Money Manager app. Ahmed said day-to-day expense is the best tracker on Google Play, and it goes on. So Raymond, hey Raymond, you're full of nuggets today, wisdom. You're competing with Eric. Raymond is saying you can actively track your expenses via WhatsApp. Create a cash tracker WhatsApp group for yourself. Wow, I didn't even know that was possible. You can include your accountability partner to keep you in check. You can start the later transfer in data, and then you can start then later transfer in data to an Excel or Google Sheet budget doc, etc. If you don't have an app for budgeting, this is a good place to start off. Once you make a habit of it, find yourself tracking your cash. You find yourself tracking your cash when you're on your nights out and weekends. Hey, Raymond, thank you. Any comments on tracking your budgets?
Thank you, Raymond. Raymond has helped me. Thank you very much, Raymond. There's so many apps, as they say, day-to-day, Money Manager. There are so many. Now, what we say is that start where you are, start what you can be able to manage, because at times we advise people, they go to the app and then they just realize after 1 week, I didn't even log into that app. That's after 1 week. There are so many things that have happened. What you need to do is go to a platform that you can be able to regularly update. Is it a notebook? There are people, their notebook is easy for them. There are people, their phone, it's not even sophisticated. They go to Keep Notes. Keep Notes is on Google, and it can be on phone, so they can be able to update it via their computer and via their phone. There are people Excel sheet. Excel sheet is on Google, and you can be able to have it on your phone, and you can update it anytime. So do what is easier for you. And the problem with tracking is people choose a very complicated platform that it becomes difficult for them to follow up. So they start very well, but the platform that they have chosen was actually probably driven by emotions, and they wanted to do that, but they're not able to follow it up. For you to do something, find something that is easy for you, and you can be able to move. So do what is easy for you. If app is good for you, that's okay. If a notebook is good for you, that's okay. If notepad is good for you, whatever works for you, as long as the key thing is to track. And in fact, the difficulty is at the beginning. The first week is very, very difficult, very difficult. So after you've done it for consistently for a week or two, it becomes a bit easier. So do what works for you.
Thank you so much, Eric. We have come to the end. You have been very, very informative, and everyone has loved it. As you can see on comments, there are a lot of asantes and a lot of gratitudes going round. So we are grateful for you guys to join us. So thank you so much. I hope now you're more educated and more informed and more equipped about obtaining your financial freedom. Please feel free to ask any questions. The questions that you have that have not been answered will be answered in the course of after the webinar has been closed and the record has been sent to you, a recording has been sent to you. Please reach us on sacco@safaricom.co.ke if you have any follow-up questions about this. As usual, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So as you exit this webinar, please take 15 seconds to fill the survey that appears so that we can be able to serve you very much better. Thank you for your time, and great good morning, great good afternoon, and great good evening from wherever you're watching me from. My name is Njeri Igane, and see you next month. Bye.